But that's something the government would do. Like I had a case study I read in this one class I took for a job, and it was called I want to say it's called the $5,000 hammer or the $2,000 hammer. But a long story short, it was some forensic accounting done on the government spending, and find out that they don't like cost savings was not like on the government's radar when they were going out for contracts and budgets and stuff. They don't think about it at all. Like businesses are trying to keep costs low. Government's like, whatever, we got to spend every penny. So they found like all these absurd purchases on their ledgers. And one of them was a $5,000 hammer that could have easily been purchased on Amazon for, I think, like $17.99. And that was the one thing that they found after all of the other budgetary absurdities. That was the thing that got the dude fired. Yeah, right. He can explain away, I spend 90% of our budget on the Department of Defense, right? Even though that's absurd. But they can justify that. But you can't justify a $5,000 hammer.
What I like about something like the $5,000 hammer, and I don't know this case study, but in my head, I just imagine like in court, like, well, let's bring out the hammer. Let's take a look. Like everybody look at the hammer and see if it's worth, like it's harder to look at a very abstract thing and say whether or not that's worth $10 million. But we can all say whether or not a hammer is worth $5,000, right? Like it's a little bit it's more
it's made out of diamonds. Yeah. Or it's like bulletproof or something.
When you think of if you just think about people, right? If a couple gets married, maybe there's one person who doesn't want a budget, and then there's the other person who's strictly a budgetary person. So when you think that there are people like this who exist, you have to imagine that, some of the people in politics are like, ball till we fall. Maybe that's why they're there. And then there are other people who are like, no, we got to be fiscally responsible. This isn't our money. This is the people's money, and blah, blah, blah. So, I guess it could be
some people, $1 million is infinite money. Like
right.
There's no bottom to $1 million. It's always going to be $1 million, no matter how much you spend.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, I thought we had $1 million. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but what other job? Well, there are some, but not very many jobs give you a budget. It's like, okay, you got $3.5 million to work with. You got to do this and that. What? I just showed up here. You gave me this stuff this much money to be responsible for. So I know it ain't right, but maybe that ain't even true.
But they didn't. It's not. But see, I work in finance, so
okay,
they give you those budgets, but it ain't like they give you a suitcase of money and it's like, here you go. This is all your money for the year. $200 million budget. There you go. Right. And you could take the suitcase around and hand out stacks to employees. All right, I need you to go, I wish it was like that. But surprisingly, man, since working in finance, there were so many people that get caught stealing. There are people that are like that, right? They're like, oh, snap. I got this credit card. People like me in my job. They already associate my lifestyle before I got the job. Now I'm just going to go spend this money on, a Range Rover, right? Or a big Las Vegas party and call it brand management, right? Or whatever, right? And what happens is those people get too hooked up and they get away with it, right? That's the worst thing that happens. You get away with it. You get away with it. And then you're like, you know what? That wasn't so bad. I'm going to just throw another party. This time I'm going to throw it in Dubai for no reason, right? And
dang. And
then you get, embezzlement charges, and you're like, why does this dude steal $50 million? It's because people weren't checking his budget, people weren't checking his expenses, and they knew it, right? And the bad employee wouldn't get away with it. It's only the one that people trust, right? That they think and trust. But you'll be surprised how many people, doesn't matter the job, like stick your fingers.
We cut to a conference room. All right. So the reason I called you guys in here is because, as you know, you each were given a budget for the year to improve your departments, to grow your teams, get better resources. And I've heard claims that budget is not being used in ways that we would deem acceptable as this company. And so I know it's a bit unorthodox for me to have all three of you in the room at once, but time is money, so I'm trying to cut costs here. You guys weren't helping that. So here's what I'm gonna do. All right, I got the budget in front of me. I got the spending, what's been spent, but I'm not sure what things have been spent on. So I'm gonna need some help there. And I'm gonna ask each and every one of you what you spent this money on. All right.
Yep.
Amici, let's start with you.
Okay. Nothing to hide.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a charge for $50,000 here. All right. Now I just need to know what was that money spent on, and was that to grow the team, to gain resources? Like, what was the reasoning?
I know what happened.
I hope so.
I bought lunch, and I tipped really well at this this restaurant. So
Was this a lunch for the whole company in our Austin branch?
it was like me and a couple friends. It was at a casino. Okay, we were at a casino, and
what did you buy on the menu, Amici?
Lots of lobster, champagne, some chips.
Some chips.
Yes.
I don't think there's any way you guys could consume $50,000 worth of lobster, champagne, and chips.
Oh, no, like the gambling chips.
Oh, that's right there. That's not lunch. That is straight up embezzlement, Amici. You
We
took
were eating
company
at
lunch.
the table.
What?
Yeah.
You were eating the food at the gambling, at the whatever card table or something?
Yeah.
You cannot take company money and turn that into casino chips. Amici,
It was a business lunch.
hold on. I'm going to table this. We'll come back to this. I got to talk to the rest of you. Tandy.
Yes.
You've been
I know.
You've been at this company for 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You know how this whole thing works. So
Exactly.
I'm seeing a charge here for $120,000.
Okay.
And that raised my eyebrow. So I wanted to know, what was that spent on?
What's so important in our team building was establishing our spirit animal. Okay. The spirit animal is what guides us. It's our mascot, really. And we'd all agree that we were more of a giraffe in the company. Okay. We were fast. We had long reaching necks to see above, to see dangers and trends coming before everyone else. And so I thought, it was a really great idea, and everybody agreed. And I was like, we can really embody the spirit animal if we actually have the animal. So some of the money I flew to Tanzania and brokered a deal, and we bought a giraffe. We bought a giraffe as our spirit animal.
You bought one giraffe.
We bought one giraffe, but we didn't bring it back because that would be inhumane. We wanted to leave it on the.
Our giraffes die when you flying over the seas.
That's right.
Stuff. You can't put their heads over the airplane, right?
You gotta bring them as babies.
Hold on. Stop. Wait. That's true. We don't need to discuss the logistics of flying a giraffe right now.
They get babies. The only way they come is if you
gotta have babies.
Sure. But why would you buy a giraffe with company? Why did you even buy a giraffe? Why you knew you couldn't take it back? Everyone knows you can't buy a grown giraffe.
But then I spent a lot of the money on computer equipment because we've got a live feed streaming from Tanzania 24 hours a day. And we watch the giraffe.
Your team needs a new computer, right?
You gotta mix the food too. You gotta feed the giraffe.
And for the care of the giraffe,
you're sponsoring a giraffe with this company.
We own the giraffe. If we ever want to go back, Lexington and Shoots owns a giraffe. in Tanzania.
No one's going back for this giraffe. No one's going back for this giraffe. All right, I'll tell you. Let me just because I gotta write it down on the sheet. What's the giraffe's name?
Terrence.
Terrence the giraffe. Candy.
Can I just say that since we got Terrence, I feel a lot better at work.
A
You
lot better.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a live feed of giraffe. You could have seen that anyway. You wouldn't have to buy one to see a live. Anyway, hold on. I still got to talk to John. Candy, we'll come back to you.
Got a company T-shirt on. I'll just say he's wearing a company.
The giraffe is no. John. There has to be some sanity in this room, right?
Absolutely, boss.
$200,000 on this charge. Work with me here, man. What was this money for?
So I got to thinking, right? We got Jerry. What am I going to do with Jerry on my team? Jerry, the computer engineer. Every time I look at him, I just don't like him. So I decided, what if I clone my grandfather? Then I could grow my
lawnmower
team.
Guy?
I could grow my team with really hard working people, and I could get rid of Jerry. You know what I'm saying?
Why not just fire Jerry if Jerry's not working out?
Oh, he's going to get fired, but I needed to have, I need to learn what Jerry did so I could teach my clone grandfathers how to do his job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you said grow the team. That's how I feel like $200,000 is a deal.
Wait, are you saying you were able to successfully clone your grandfather for $200,000?
Well, it's not done yet. It takes a couple of years for him to, grow in the lab. But when it's done, we got 10 new employees for $200,000. $20,000 a pop.
Hey, I want some money gambling. Can I give you some money to
No,
maybe get me?
no, you cannot. That's company money.
Clone the giraffe.
Clone
Next
the giraffe.
time, I can get some sales. We can just.
That's right. Yeah.
clone the giraffe.
No one's cloning a giraffe. We don't need more giraffes. That's not the
Then we get a tiny giraffe and bring it over here, right?
Baby, that's how you got to bring it. Baby.
Then we can clone the baby giraffe
Oh, God.
just in case something happens to that giraffe.
We cut to John's grandfather's clone getting on an airplane with a baby giraffe and a lawnmower. Sir, you can't bring the lawnmower on board. I'm sorry. The giraffe can come because it's a baby, but you can't bring the.
Get your hand off my lawnmower, boy.
Sir, you got to at least check the lawnmower. It can't go into the cabin. Sir, and scene. And that is a Can't Tell Us Nothing show, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Oh my gosh.
And thank you for tuning in. And thank you to our special guest, Shanedria Wagner.